Welcome back to SuperStates, EU4 AI only. Let's see which states or provinces come out on top. Honduras and allies have won against Spain, taking those two provinces from them. Dakota taking the last province of Wyoming. Florida taking out Songhai, getting a bunch of land in West Africa now. Aleutian must have gained independence from the Arctic Union when they lost one of their wars, and I mean, the Arctic Union, they don't even own all of Alaska anymore. You got Yucatan taking the last of Quintana Roo, and I see Tabasco is definitely taking a lot of land on the Yucatan. Yeah, was it Puebla taking out the last of, must have been Jalisco? No, that was Veracruz right there. Florida's over here in Indonesia now. Las Californias moving over into Mexico, taking the whole coastline here. Aleutian lost most of their territory to Arctic Union. They took them back, but they're still around. Illinois took the last few provinces of Iowa, and, well, they split up Minnesota into a couple provinces. So Kentucky, well, they must have lost a war at some point, and, well, Transylvania was released. I mean, this has nothing to do with Transylvania and Romania, but, well, it's a country in North America now. Honduras moving into Guatemala again, and they're now moving right into Mexico. Las Californias are in Indonesia as well. They got land there. Kentucky is starting to make a comeback. They took back some land from Tennessee, and, well, they took out West Sylvania. And Virginia also took a bit of land from... They also reconquered a little bit of land from Tennessee. Florida, Las Californias, and the Arctic Union are in Florida. I mean, not Florida, the Philippines. No, what happened? Nova Scotia lost in a war against Quebec at some point. I mean, we lost our half of Prince Edward Island, and we lost our capital of Halifax. Now our capital, where is it? It's in Kings now. We've been forced to break our alliance with Ontario, so I mean, it might be the end for us. Let's go. We have this. We got this. Ontario just destroyed Quebec, but they weren't nice enough to give us any of our provinces back. Arctic Union taking more islands in the Pacific. New York moving into Quebec as well. No one wants to give us back Halifax, though. New York took Quebec's cities in Hispaniola. We have the independent nation of Acadia living on these two formerly Quebecois islands up here. Tabasco took much of what remained of Guatemala. Las Californias moving deeper into Mexico, taking much of, well, all of Sinaloa now. Ontario and Dakota splitting most of Minnesota. Tasmania colonized one province of Papua New Guinea. New Hampshire has defeated Songhai and is moving into West Africa. Florida's been kicked out of certain areas of Indonesia. I mean, Kutai and Sunda kicked them out, and over there in Indrapura kicked them out over there, but they're still around in the Philippines. Also, they own the Andaman Islands. So North Colorado has been a country for who knows how long. I mean, it could have become independent at any one of the wars Colorado lost. Let's go, another L for Quebec. Ontario, well, they just took, well, all of Quebec. They kind of just stuck with Newfoundland and Ontario and, New Brunswick and Prince Edward Islands now. Won't be long until we get Halifax back. And hopefully we can take some more stuff. That'll be cool. Nunavut's a country once again. Florida won another war against Songhai, and they also took land from Janae. Texas has retaken most of Oklahoma and took some land from Illinois as well. The Arctic Union owns the Galapagos. North Dakota finished off Nebraska. Well, or just Dakota. Not true, actually Illinois took the last bit of Dakota, and, well, North Colorado took the last little bit of Colorado. Ontario is trying to move into Illinois. Texas has taken more land in Mexico. Colima has taken Michoacan in Mexico. And Hidalgo was split between Estado de Mexico and San Luis Potosi. Florida's basically almost completely finished off Janae, and, well, New Hampshire tried to defend them, but, well, they ended up losing. They lost a province in, Cuba, and they lost land to New York, too, because New York was Florida's ally. Oaxaca, they were finished off by Honduras and Puebla. And, well, that means Puebla now is a coastline. Texas has officially finished off Oklahoma again and is now moving into Illinois. Jalisco has finished off Colima in Mexico. Las Californias has almost completely taken out Zacatecas. Florida took a bunch more land from Songhai, making them own, well, most of West Africa. Ontario continuing to move down on Illinois, and Dakota got some land as well. Texas helped Honduras in their war against Estado de Mexico, and in the process got some land from, Got some land from San Luis Potosi and Estado de Mexico. Recently took these provinces here. At some point, Alberta took Haida Gwaii. Queensland, who was looking like that, they took a little bit of land in Papua New Guinea. Christmas Island started out independent because, well, they are an island in Australia. but they got conquered by Sunda. Honduras has taken much of Estado de Mexico. Ontario just destroyed Quebec again. They're not really left with much. Where's their capital's in Prince Edward Island now? We still never retook Halifax. We were in that war. We got some good war score, but well, at least we got Miquelon. Well, we got Saint Pierre and Miquelon, which we never had before. I mean, these are new provinces to us. So I mean, priorities, right? Didn't notice how big Florida's southeastern Africa colony was getting, but well, it is getting big. Las Californias has been kicked out of the Philippines completely by Tondo. New Hampshire has taken the remaining Quebecois land in New Brunswick. Dakota took North Colorado and much of Montana. Texas decided to declare war on Puerto Rico, giving them that province there. They also gained some land here by fighting some wars in Mexico, west a bit against Puebla. Ohio took much of Illinois. Ontario took that last province of, well, apparently Chicago. Yeah, Chicago became independent at some point, but, well, they aren't anymore because Ontario just took them. San Luis Potosi trying to survive. They took much of Jalisco, took much of their land. When Jalisco lost their war, Colima was released. San Luis Potosi did not exactly make a comeback because, well, California, they took much of what remained of Zacatecas, and, well, they took much of San Luis Potosi as well. Nova Scotia has reconquered Halifax, and we also got back the eastern half of Prince Edward Island. We also gained these islands here. What even are they? Oh, yeah, we must have taken out Acadia and got Ile de la Madeleine. Bermuda gained independence from Florida. Texas has finished off San Luis Potosi, and they took most of Puebla, turning them into an enclave. Ontario took what remained of Minnesota over there, and Dakota, they took some land from Texas. Yeah, they took Colorado. West Africa has been almost completely split between New Hampshire and Florida. New York finished off Pennsylvania. They took the eastern half of their lands. Florida also completely took out Alabama. Now they're just left with their, Louisiana land and some land up here. American Samoa took most of Hawaii. Where even is American Samoa? Yeah, they're all the way over here. Florida, they took that land from Queensland. Yeah, they fought a war with Queensland, and they also own various other islands in the area. Like what, they got a few Pacific islands. Taking out like Fiji. That's Spain. I mean, I don't know if I mentioned that over here. We got these islands split between Las Californias and Florida. And Las Californias again down here. Ohio taking out Tennessee now. Texas expanded their east coastline a little bit, and well, Florida owns this. Nova Scotia finished off Quebec and took the rest of Prince Edward Island, the western half. Texas won against Honduras and gave themselves a west coast. And there goes Puebla's last province. We've also had the independent nation of Mosquito for a very long time. Las Californias also completely finishing off Durango, or Jalisco, leaving them with a single province there. Why is that province shaped so weird anyway? Why are Mexican borders like that? St. Martin's gained independence over here. They just have this single island. Texas won another war against Central America, but they did lose a bunch of land to Ohio. Actually, I think Ohio was at war with Tennessee, but they kind of had to fight Texas to get through Tennessee. Yeah, Ontario, they're letting Ohio take everything. I mean, they're not, they're helping Ohio in all their wars. They're gonna run out of expansion if they don't stop. Connecticut's been expanding into the Congo, and, well, Florida's East African colony is growing. Honduras now losing to California. They lost much of their northern land. Honduras lost again to Texas. Texas taking a bunch of land. They also released Oaxaca. We got Florida forming South Atlantic. That's pretty cool. That's a good-looking flag, too. New York now falling to Ontario, and it looks like New Jersey. South Atlantic finished off Malawa. Ontario finished off Nunavut, most likely a while ago. The other countries just aren't giving New York a break. I mean, who do they lose land to? Lost land to South Atlantic. I think that's it. Maybe did New Jersey expand their land? Maybe. But what is for sure is that they lost some of their Hispaniola land to South Atlantic, and, well, Santo Domingo gained independence, and Texas, well, they took the rest of Puerto Rico. I mean, I'm gonna guess that New York took out Puerto Rico New York took out Puerto Rico at some point, but, well, Texas has them now. New York lost their single West African province to Florida as well. I mean South Atlantic, of course. Well, Nova Scotia had a good run, but Ontario just betrayed us and absolutely destroyed us. I mean, they did leave us with these two islands. We got Ile de la Madeleine and St. Pierre and Miquelon. An independent Domingo did not last long. I mean, Texas, they just took them, and, well, Florida, well, I mean, Portugal, they took something. Portugal must have taken some land from New York. Texas taking even more land from Honduras now. Somehow Querétaro was independent here. Tabasco, well, Chiapas gained independence from Tabasco. Nicaragua is a country now. Campeche independent once again. South Atlantic finished off Alabama, and, well, West Tennessee is a thing. The last two holdouts of Nova Scotia, those being Ile de la Madeleine and St. Pierre-Miquelon, were annexed by South Atlantic. Antigua is independent. Ontario moving into New Hampshire now, leaving them with only a few provinces. New Hampshire still has all their stuff down here, though. Texas starting to win against Dakota. They reconquered Colorado. Las Californias and Arctic Union have been expanding in the Philippines. Las Californias just taking all of British Columbia from Alberta. Montana got most of their homeland back. Ontario continuing to move west into Montana. I don't know if I said Las Californias as a mistake earlier, but if I did, I meant to say South Atlantic and Arctic Union are in the Philippines. South Atlantic just took, like, all of Alaska. Where's their capital now? Okay, their capital's still there. I mean, they still got a bunch of Pacific Islands. I mean, they got that there and that, and, well, of course, the Philippine territory and, well, just a few other various Pacific islands. That also, of course, means that Aleutian is no longer independent. We got Ontario forming Canada. Well, that will be the end of that game. That was very interesting formable nations of South Atlantic, Las Californias, and Canada. We also had West Tennessee staying independent. And, of course, the Arctic Union, they are kind of living on. It was sad to see my home province of Nova Scotia get defeated by Ontario, but, well, at least Canada formed, and, well, that's pretty cool, I think. Well, we did very well. We took a bunch of land from the U.S. states. Canada and Alberta are the only Canadian provinces that survive. We got two Mexican provinces that survived, and Honduras still lives on. Bermuda still survives as an independent country. Antigua as well. Australia never united, and Tasmania took much of New Zealand. None of the new countries made it to first place, but it's good to see that Canada, well, they did the best out of any new country. They got, they're in third place. Then we got South Atlantic in fourth place, Texas in sixth, and Las Californias in seventh. South Atlantic, they got, well, Florida and the surrounding area. Got some of, Georgia and North Carolina. Can't forget that they got these two places over here, the St. Pierre-Miquelon and Ile de la Madeleine. Texas, they got a bunch of land in Mexico and began to expand north. Got a few countries, a few provinces in the Caribbean. They got some land in Hispaniola and Puerto Rico. Las Californias just taking out the entire Pacific coast of North America. I mean, they left. Dakota's got a little bit up there, of course. And they took a bunch of land from Mexico up until, well, they reached Texas. South Atlantic, they, of course, got a colony, actually. And Las Californias, they just got that. And, well, New Hampshire doing very well in Florida. I mean, they're going to need that land. I mean, they're kind of getting kicked out of home. Okay, yeah, they do still have some land in their original land. But most of their land is now in Africa. And, well, Florida, South Atlantic, they got a bunch of stuff in Africa as well. They got some good colonies over there and over here too. In Connecticut, they're still there in Africa as well. Still got some Tasmania and Papua New Guinea. We got some Florida. We got some South Atlantic over there as well, and they're actually a colonial nation. We got South Atlantic and Philippines, Arctic Union as well. And if you're wondering what the rest of the world's been looking like, well, they look like this. They got Europe, they're looking like that. Then, well, Siberia. None of the well, Russia kind of died, and unfortunately, none of the new countries made it to Siberia, so Japan just took it. Well, that'll be the end of that. Let me know how the country that you are rooting for is doing. I'm very impressed with Canada's performance. We couldn't have Nova Scotia, but at least we have Canada. If you liked this video, then you'll probably like the video on screen too. And if you didn't like this video, then, well, maybe you'll like the video on screen better.